Listen, we're back here with some mad topics to talk about, starting the 2026 season. Got a lot of headliners and topics to talk about regarding this season. So, that being said, we got a lot of players that have exceeded expectations and have not exceeded expectations. We got some youngins stepping into the game and making a big mark for themselves early, and then the Mets have extended their losing streak to 12 games. We're going to delve into that as far as the disappointing slide of games that they got going on so far this season. So, with that being said, we're going to slide into first base with an infield single.
You beat out the infield single.
Bit at the infield single to our first topic. So, there is a good amount. It's safe to say there's a good amount of players so far this year that have exceeded expectations and have performed exceptionally well for certain teams. Mason, I believe you have one or two, maybe two players that have exceeded your expectations, that have played well so far this season. What are some of those names for you so far?
I have a guy who I didn't really know much about until this year, when he was announced as the opening day starter for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. His name is Jose Soriano. Through 5 starts this year, he has been nails, to say the least. He has been the best starting pitcher, at least in baseball. 5-0 record, a 0.28 ERA. I think he's given up 1 run all year. .735 WHIP, 3 flat hits per 9, and 2.1 wins above replacement, all lead Major League Baseball over 32 innings. And if you're into stats and such, you're probably aware of your adjusted metrics. So stuff like OPS plus and ERA plus. You have league average, which is 100, and then each number above or below 100 is your percentage above league average. So like a 150 OPS plus is 50% better than league average. So for ERA plus, like a very good pitcher sits around like 135, 150. I think the most ever is a Mariano Rivera season where he has like a 258 or something like that. Take a guess what Jose Soriano's is right now.
Let's say 270.
You're not even close. It is 1,583.
Damn.
So he is, what is that, 150 times better than the average pitcher?
Yeah.
I mean, it's April. Early metrics are hilarious to look at because it's either so good or so terrible. But I mean, he's been a dog for the Angels. They got a new pitching coach in Mike Maddox over the offseason, and I take it things have been going well for him. He was kind of been like a league average pitcher before that, but he was still really young. Usually would sit around like a 4.3. But yeah, he's been a dog, especially for my fantasy team. It's been really fun to just watch him farm 7 scoreless outings. 7 innings scoreless. My next guy, it's a little bit disrespectful for it to be like, maybe it's a guy that you've never heard of. Because, I mean, obviously we know who he is. But the run that he is going on right now is absolutely ludicrous. You could probably figure out where I'm going talking about Mason Miller. 11 appearances so far, 0 earned runs, which makes his ERA 0. A 0.35 WHIP is gross. 2 walks and 2 hits all year. 27 strikeouts. Oh my god, dude.
Ridiculous.
So his breaking ball run value, expected ERA, expected batting average against, fastball velocity, whiff rate at 62.8% and K rate at 71.1% is all the best in the league. If your FIP is around your ERA, you're pretty good. So Mason Miller's FIP is, get this, negative 1.1. So his ability to strike people out and preventing balls in play is getting his team an extra run. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. 32 and two-thirds scoreless inning streak goes back to last year, including playoffs, and has 31 consecutive scoreless outings.
Okay, okay. Those are some good ones. I know I was looking at Jose Soriano like last week. I noticed he was like 4-0 by that time, and I'm like, wow, dude, he's literally dominant. He's literally hasn't get a shit besides that one run, like you mentioned. And
And
good for the
I
Angels.
think it was like a solo shot to like some nobody on the Cubs.
Huh,
Which I guess if it's on the Cubs, it's probably not a nobody, but it was probably I don't know.
gotcha. Yeah, that's still though, that's a ridiculous feat. Even this early in the season, like that's ridiculous. It's rare that that happens. And Mason Miller to add on top of that, that's definitely that's scary. Like I think I saw he was averaging at least like 2 strikeouts an appearance. I'm just like,
Yeah,
wow, that's
it's
ridiculous.
more
Anyway,
than that actually.
but
Yeah, and he
uh,
walks out to a gnarly walk up song if you play him in San Diego. He walks out to "Blind" by Korn. If you ever see a video of his walkouts, with it's got the flashing lights and guys just
hmm,
hammering the ride cymbal and the drum kit. Look it up.
damn, I gotta look
It's
that up.
incredible.
I bet. Damn, I gotta look that up. All right. Well, those are some two good players that have been exceeding expectations for sure this year. And I gotta mention this guy who's been on an incredible run as well on the hitting side, of course. Andy Pajes. He's leading the league in average, tied for first in RBIs, and tied for first in hits in the whole league. I mean, this is a guy who I feel like is not talked enough about on the Dodgers, and I did not see him coming out with a bang in this season. He's in 370. So there's like a bunch of I think I saw like his log a bunch of times where he's hitting like 3 for 4, 4 for 5. I'm like, wow, dude. And especially in that lineup, that only helps his case.
Yeah,
So
he's benefiting from having a lineup of superstars around him, where it's kind of just like, all right, I guess we have to pitch to Andy Paez because it's like, do you want to pitch to
mhm,
Will Smith after him? Like,
exactly. And then Freddie Freeman and Max Muncy.
yeah,
So yeah, I get that. So that's definitely one person that's standing out to me this year so far for sure. Um, and then I gotta give a shout out to another hitter that's been turning up. Ben Rice of the Yankees. 338, 18 RBIs, 21 runs, 8 home runs. I think that's near the top of the league leader right now, around there. Um, hell of a start for him. I mean, this is another like firepower to the hitting squad of the Yankees that they need, and um, that's definitely one. I think that's a young piece that we got to watch out for, and that might be a problem to other teams in the future if he keeps it up.
yeah. When
Um,
you look at those numbers and say this guy is on the Yankees, and then you tell them that it's not Aaron Judge, that is horrifying.
yeah, exactly. Sliding into second base, stealing second. Um, on to our next topic. We got a bunch of disappointing performing players, big and small names, whichever. There's a handful of them going around the league that have been having some slow starts. But Mason, I'm curious to see which ones that you mentioned here as well, because I know you mentioned the two pitchers for your exceeding expectations players. What do you got for disappointing players so far?
Well, I guess I'm going on the other side of the ball. I cannot say that was intentional. But we're going back to the Bronx. Uh, Jazz Chisholm Jr. 21 games, 12 hits, 3 RBIs, 0 home runs, 26 strikeouts. He's batting 164, 265 on base, 233 slug for a 498 OPS. So his OPS is barely better than Ben Rice's on base percentage. Ah. Expected batting average is 147, which is below his actual batting average. So apparently he's getting lucky and is still uh, hitting that bad. Um, I'm pretty sure that's second to dead last. And his expected slug of 190 uh,
Hmm.
is is actually dead last. I give him a little bit of credit. 9 walks is pretty much league average. 8 stolen bases is tied for fourth. Brings his WAR up to 0. So he's kind of just an average player somehow because his defense has been good enough to mitigate how absolutely dismal his offense was.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if you remember before the season the words that he said. Um,
No, no.
he claimed he was going to go 50-50 this year.
Oh my gosh, did he really?
Yeah. Um, he's been getting a lot of backlash from that one, obviously. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
was getting backlash before the season started because it's like, what the hell? Like, there's
Yeah.
no way. And then, yeah, I've seen some pretty crude remarks. I think one guy said he won't even go 50-50 with his wife.
Oh
um,
my god.
yeah, that's he. I mean, he walked right into it. For the contract that we gave Pete Alonso, it has not been good. It hasn't been awful necessarily. He's starting to heat back up. 23 games, he's played every day. 17 hits, 8 RBIs on 2 homers, 5 doubles, 29 strikeouts.
Damn.
He strikes out a lot.
Hmm.
But I mean, we kind of that's been on his rap sheet for his whole career, which is you kind of see that a lot with sluggers. When you take those really hard swings, you're
Hmm.
gonna miss a lot of the time, but when you do hit it, you hit it real hard, which he is this year. I think he's like top 5% in the league in like average exit velocity, so he's hitting it hard, just not in the right places. Uh, batting 198, 317 on base, um, 326 slug, comes out to a 642 OPS, which is I think it's like 15% below average. I think it's like an 84 OPS plus. Um, he's walking a lot. I'll give him that. That's why his on base is where it is, and he's playing really good defense. Um, when the Orioles signed him, it was kind of just like he's not a good defender, but you'll get 40 homers out of him. And we've experienced the opposite. Yeah, I mean, but needless to say, Pete Alonso hasn't been great, but I'm expecting him to turn it around eventually.
Okay, there you go. I'm sorry, I can't. I still can't get over the go 50-50 with your wife. Oh my
I
god,
saw that
whoever's
tweet. I saw that tweet. I was like, he did not just do that.
bro,
Because
that's evil.
do you know what his wife does for a living?
What does she do?
No, his wife's an OnlyFans model.
Oh no. Unfortunately, I got to keep the disappointment of the performances going for a couple of players I will name. Sorry, Luke, for this one, but I gotta say Julio Rodriguez is not doing so well so far. Hitting 222 with a on base percentage of 320, 289 slugging. He has 26 strikeouts and one home run, 7 RBIs. Uh, yeah, buddy, I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, maybe it's just like a fluke start. I know that there's a lot of people who tend to start off slower and kind of heat up more towards summertime. But
Julio is a notoriously slow starter.
and then I'm gonna call out another person from my team since you did your Oriole. I'll do my Bucko of Marcelo Zuna. Hitting 188 officially as of today. 2 home runs, 18 strikeouts. On base percentage is 253, 304 slugging. It's home run or bust. Like I know that's also another guy that's like very slow starter and grounds in. If he's not hitting a home run, he's hitting into a double play or striking out. So and it one thing that really got on my nerve. We were in the extra innings game that I told you about with the Rays earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and he had bases loaded with like no outs or however many outs. That this ball could have literally hit on Mason, and he literally veered out of the way with everything he got, and it was this close to hitting him for game winning. Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta wear it.
Yep. And then, of course, what does he do after? He strikes out. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ozuna from the Braves.
Ozuna.
More.
Osuna from the Braves. We're going to slide into third base, advance over to third to our third topic. with the league leading headline of the Mets officially losing 12 games in a row. And what has that payroll done for them? That's what's done for them so far. So
Tax write-off.
tax write-off. Yep. Yep. And what do you think, Mason, is their biggest issue because of this long hitting streak? Is their pitching? Is it their dismal hitting going on? Do you think the coaching is an issue? What do you think is the main point here?
When I originally did my research and figuring out what the hell is going on with this team, I chalked it up to a lot of the bats not being great. Team OPS of 624 is the worst in the league. They have the worst on base and the second worst slugging. They are dead last in runs scored. Luis Robert and Francisco Alvarez are the only players that have played more than 10 games that are hitting over 250. Francisco Lindor has not been good, but kind of had the hamate bone stuff before the season. But I mean, he was fine for opening day. I think he even played in spring training a little bit. And Bo Bichette, their big move on the offseason has not been working out. Looking at some of the advanced numbers, like his expected batting average is right around like 310, so he's getting a little unlucky. It's just a little bit of everything and a little bit of the snowball effect, where when the going is bad, it pretty much tends to compound on itself because you get the media pressure and your personal pressure. These guys are competitive; they hate losing. And when you do lose this many games in a row, it's in the back of your mind. I think they said it was either 4 or 5 teams that have lost 10 in a row and still made the playoffs. The most recent one was the Guardians last year. So it's not impossible, but
it's very hard.
You got to start seeing some results from, the guys that you're paying the GDP of a small city.
Definitely got some work to do going up here. I mean, even Jorge Polanco, 179, and he's hurt. It's like, and he was doing great with the Mariners last year. Like, that I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's the chemistry thing in the locker room or something, but
it might be. This might be like a little bit of a reach, but it might be something to do with like the positions that they're playing, because Bo Bichette was a shortstop his whole career, and he signs with the Mets and he's playing third.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Jorge Polanco played second base and I think a little bit of outfield. Now he was playing first base.
Yeah, you need some sort of life being brought back into that clubhouse and in the field. So
I think they'll turn it around, but I don't know if it's enough to make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. Then that's what I predicted last year. That is a good point you brought up. I honestly agree with the positioning. I mean, coming up with Bo Bichette coming off from the season he had last year, just being in the World Series, and then now is like playing a different position with a different team and different people. It definitely, I would assume, like changes things for you mentally and physically. So I don't blame you for that, thinking that. I don't know. It's just like I know the hitting's been bad too, but the pitching hasn't been like majorly stellar either. I mean, they got a team ERA of over 4. Batting average against is like 240 plus, and then walks plus hits per innings pitched. There's whip total team whip is 128 as of now, roughly. Our last topic of the night. We got a bunch of young bucks in the league, making their mark on their teams and getting paid early, too, from their teams. This is also a league-wide move that's been kind of happening, as far as strategy goes and investing into their young talent and their prospects. There's a bunch of names that have been given a fair, paid, long, lengthy contracts before their debut, and we're here to talk about it. So, Mason, I'm gonna let you name a few names that kind of stood out to you as far as young rookies getting their contracts early, and what your thoughts are. What your thoughts are about this league-wide strategy of investing and betting early on upside instead of paying later.
So far this year, there's been 2 people that have signed with 0 days of service time, so they've signed before their debut. One is Cooper Pratt, who is a shortstop prospect for the Brewers, signed an 8-year, $50 million deal. I think he's like the number 47 overall. The Mariners signed a shortstop, Colt Emerson, who is their number 1 prospect, number 7 overall by MLB Pipeline, to an 8-year, $95 million deal. Some other guys this year, your guy, Connor Griffin, 9-year, 140. Signed it a little bit into the season, but I'm pretty sure we had the rumors like before the season even started that they were going to extend him.
For sure.
And then Kevin McGonigal, shortstop for the Tigers, 8 years, 150, after about a month. All shortstops. I guess these teams really want to lock in their guys, and I think a lot of this has to do with the bigger market teams kind of just purging the younger players, namely the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Mets. You see it a lot where guys will come up on a small market team and then they will get bought by a bigger team, i.e. Kyle Tucker was very good on the Astros. He was there for a while. I mean, he played out his original contract, but I think a lot of Astros fans were thinking that Kyle Tucker was going to be an Astro for life. And then, he gets traded as a rental and then moves over to the Dodgers. Shocker. I don't know how it's going to work if there's a potential lockout next year. I don't think guys are going to get a year shaved off their contract. I think because they're not playing, the guys aren't going to get paid. So maybe they're signing these guys to extensions and getting them to an extra year, possibly. I'm a big fan of it. My Orioles did it with Samuel Basallo, signed him after a couple days. He's yet to blossom, but he's getting there. He also wasn't really, a number 1 prospect like Connor Griffin, which I guess I could pass the baton to you if I think you're more knowledgeable on Connor Griffin than I am.
Yeah, I mean, I've liked so far what I've seen from him. There's obviously some things he needs to work on. Hitting could do a lot better. Very good defensively from what I've seen. Very clean. Shortstop and throws. Nice strong throws to first. He tends to do a bit much when it turns to like double plays and like certain plays like that. Sometimes just needs to keep it simple. But
running into Chandler Simpson.
Yeah, Jesus. I think that he's a good fit for us so far, and I'm excited to see what else he's got in store for the future.
Yeah, I mean, he's 19 years old.
Yeah, I can't even get beer yet. He's playing with grown men.
He can't even get beer next year.
Yeah, exactly. Is that crazy to consider?
Yeah, I think he's the first one to debut at 19 since Bryce Harper.
That's right. Bryce Harper was that young
16 years ago.
Yeah. That concludes our rest of our topics for today's episode of Bases Loaded. Do you have anything else you want to add for those Orioles fans watching this out there, or any of them? Mason?
Check out Birdland Bash. We go more into depth on the Orioles. I know I try not to talk about my team because I kind of show a little bit of bias. Maybe not, because I just kind of tore Pete Alonso apart. Most recent episode, we ripped apart a couple guys that are struggling. It's if you're a hater, it's a good listen, but sometimes you just got to be honest with your team. They were not doing very good, and still not doing very good. But
hopefully,
check out Birdland Bash if you want to get our in-depth Oriole stuff. We got some new faces over there that haven't been on here, and Chase is over there as well, giving his unbiased opinion,
to say the least,
if you can believe that.
Man, that's great, man. I hope the Orioles really turn things around this season, man, with the young squad they got. So kudos to you guys. You can find us on Instagram at Stacey Owns Sports, all in one word. That's going to be where our rest of our clips of our episodes of different sports go. Believe we're going to do something with the draft coming up in a few days, maybe. But till then, baseball fans, we're going to see you in another month or so for another season update. And we will catch you soon. Go Bucks, go Birds. Tune in next time, guys. Thank you.